Hi, I'm Sophie from the Joyful Web, and today I'm joined by Sara Osterholzer, who is the co-founder of the Good Business Club and is an early stage business coach. Hi, Sara.
Hi, Sophie. Thanks for
Hi,
having
thank
me.
you for joining us. And today we're going to talk about how to start a business in challenging times, which is obviously very, very topical for now, for what is happening with everything in the current climate and the fears around what will happen after this. And we have been hearing a lot of potential business owners or just started business owners talking like nothing is possible right now, haven't we? So what would you say is the kind of most common kind of misconception around starting a business that you're hearing from your clients and the business club members at this time?
It's a really good question. I think it's been really interesting to see the people who are getting stopped at the moment and what's stopping them and the ones that are in action. And I think one thing is around mindset. So there's some people who are, a lot of things that we're hearing right now is about being uncontrolled. There's no control or there's uncertainty. And a lot of people are getting stopped by that because they're trying to figure out how do you plan things, how do you make things happen if you don't know what's going to happen next. And what's really interesting about that is that both control and uncertainty are illusions. Yeah. And actually, we live each day with uncertainty. We have no idea what's going to happen in the next moment, tomorrow. And actually, we're never really in control of those things. And if you can really connect with that and get present to how great of a job you've been doing your whole life, nothing much that's changed. And also with starting a business anyway, things will shift and you have to adapt anyway. So especially the early stages, just starting and taking action right now is really important. And similar to that, people are kind of worrying about what might the new world look like, or what's going to look like afterward. What are people going to need or want afterwards? And again, it's not something we're going to know until it happens. And rather than just being stopped and waiting, just be in action, do something. Like, people aren't going to dramatically change. I think the other thing we're seeing is that some people are worrying about their people not buying things, or businesses are struggling, and actually that's not the case. People's needs still are there. That they've potentially shifted. They want different things, but people aren't going to stop needing or valuing or wanting things. And there's some really great examples like Zoom that we're on right now that have now something that's been more valuable than it ever has been. And it's a great opportunity to just look at what people really need and create something based on that, which is again what you would do anyway with a business. So it's really interesting how actually, especially if you're starting something up, nothing much has shifted really in terms of how you should be approaching setting something up, and the mindset that you want to be taking on as well around that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that I actually feel like this is really exciting, which might sound completely balmy to a lot of people who are watching this, but it's exciting purely because we really believe in the importance of first asking, how can I help you? Like, not just creating something, whatever that might be, because of what you think people want or need, or creating something that you're going to try and manipulate people into wanting or thinking that they need, but actually finding out what people need and looking at how your business can offer that solution. And now more than ever, that is absolutely crucial for businesses to do that, and to be agile and to be flexible enough to be able to look at what they have already in front of them and the skills that they have, and use that to really offer what people are looking for. And that is how businesses should be.
It should be all about people, exactly. And I think I think you're right. I think there's a lot of people who've kind of missed that step before, and create things like that they put a lot of energy into trying to make them, promote them and get them in front of people. All the sales things are really tough. I think the world that I've kind of worked in as well is with people who are doing business differently. That normally is about putting people at the core of it and putting a real value in the purpose, that actually it exists to fulfill something that's needed. And normally it's around something to do with people around that as well, and it's very much focused on that. So I think you're right, it's a really good reminder that actually is all a business is doing, is trying to serve a need. And if it's not working, it's probably because maybe there isn't a need there, or you're not actually doing a good job of getting in front of people who need it as well. But you're right, that's actually something that's really important, and a great opportunity now to really connect to actually what is necessary in the world, not just creating stuff that isn't necessary either.
Exactly. And as a member of the Good Business Club, which is Sara's initiative, I have been so blown away by your community of other members and these businesses who are not only looking to diversify or, you know, maybe even sometimes completely duck and weave into a whole different, like, oh, okay. But the willingness to do that and the sort of ingenuity in doing that, but also the focus on community. Can you tell us a little bit more about how or why community is so important and how businesses can use that to their advantage?
Yeah, for us, like, community is so important because especially when we're talking like about early stage businesses as well, you can be doing things really on your own, and actually there's a lot of people out there who've done it before in some capacity and actually have learned things, basically maybe things haven't gone right and they're now kind of wanting to share that. Like, I think, like you said, one thing that's really struck me when we set up the community, we thought would be a lot of people kind of coming in going like, we need stuff, we need to be supported, but actually what we have is actually a community where everyone contributes and gets something in different capacities. And it might be someone, you know, from a past experience they've had something, but like, actually have you tried doing this, or, and all of that, it can help one shortcut how you get somewhere, but also just the enjoyment of then not having to be on your own trying to figure things out and like do it all in isolation. Is really nice to be able to share that and actually learn from a lot of people's different experiences as well. But I think also around like I guess kind of building around people as well, isn't it? It's like people buy from people, and actually if we get too disconnected around that and hide behind a brand and be too much about the brand focus, both our customers and, you know, people who might be partners, all those things, there's a real disconnect there as well, and we're trying to kind of break that down a little bit. So our membership is all about individuals kind of joining and, you know, contributing and raising their profile of who they are and what they can contribute in a really powerful way. And then you've got a community who really get you, who can kind of go out and be your champions, ambassadors, and tell other people about what you're doing as well. So especially if you've not got a big network, or you're not kind of sure, you don't like networking especially, like, come and find people who just want to be able to support you as well and get that word out there beyond that as well. So I think that's really important. Again, come back to the people side of business, which it really is all about. There's no reason you should be doing this in isolation, and the more you can connect to the people who really get you, who've been there, who can share their experiences and also be there to share what you're doing with the rest of the world, just makes the whole actually, you know, journey of setting up and running a business so much more enjoyable, I find.
Yeah, 100%. I think a lot of us business owners have learned some things the hard way. I know Alice and I have definitely learned quite a lot of things the hard way. But actually, you know, that what is the hard way? It's just it's a lesson, and lessons are valuable no matter how you come across them. But what is really exciting and really valuable is being able to share that and maybe help, you know, other people. If you're watching this and you're going to start a business, then you will also probably learn some lessons the hard way, but sharing that with other people makes it feel so much less scary.
Yeah, and even just asking like simple questions, so like talking to someone like, how did you grow your team? Like, there's some kind of key things that people get stopped by, and they sometimes feel like they've got to figure it all out on their own. But just going into me like, actually, what's been your journey around setting up a website? Like, what would you recommend doing and avoiding? And like, just hearing people's experience can just also give you confidence in what decisions you're making as well, and go, that's exactly what I would have done. Great, okay, now I feel more confident with the decisions I have to make as well. So I think that's really, really nice way of kind of like finding a community that you can actually lean on in that way as well.
Absolutely. So for if you're looking to start a business, we've covered some of our kind of key top tips, which are around like creating a community, finding your people, looking for people who can share their experiences with you and learn from that as well. We've also spoken about the importance of doing business as a human and actually asking your audiences what it is that they want and need, and making sure that you're providing that through your product or service. Is there anything else that a small business owner who's maybe just started or who's really holding back because it just feels like the worst time ever, that you could give to them that would maybe help them to take that first step?
The first step I would always say is just start small. I think a lot of people again get stopped because they're trying to create the best perfect version of what they're trying to do, and they're trying to figure out all the different elements to make it work. And I would say there's the only thing you really need to do when you're first starting up is finding the people that you're trying to create something for, create the smallest version of what that looks like, and just bringing it to them and see how they interact with it. Is it what they want? Is it not? And shift and develop. And the biggest learnings I've had from my experience of working with startups is that people sometimes put too much energy and time and money even into creating something what might be perfect in their head and what it looks like right now, but actually isn't all what people need, or it looks very different. So, and you learn so much as soon as you actually go out and start, you know, either selling or whatever that looks like in terms of your business model. So the quicker you can get to that point of just bringing something in front of people, the quicker you're going to learn, the more confidence you're going to get, and you're going to get out of that stuck of like fear of like, is it going to work or not? So start small and just do something is one thing I'd always say to anyone.
I think that's a really, really great piece of advice. I actually have a sticker on the back of my phone that says "Start small, aim big,"
Oh, I love
because
that.
my brain just constantly wants to take on like the whole world and like have a revolution in every single context. And I was like, little steps, little steps towards that. I think that's really, really powerful. And also you are part of organizing a huge, it sounds like it's a huge event that's happening next week. Could you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I've joined an awesome team, Australian company called Start Some Good, that are as passionate as I am around helping people who are doing good things get stuff off the ground. And they've been curating this online summit for the last 3 years. They've done it once a year, so it's not new territory for them at all. They've really got great kind of contents and formats, which is called the Starting Good Virtual Summit. So it's from May 11th till May 20th. And what they do is they've been interviewing amazing people, again, people who've either been there and done it, or people who are kind of working with businesses that are doing good and purpose-led businesses, to talk about some of the key things about getting something off the ground or kind of growing something really cool. And it's a great way to kind of tap into speakers and workshops as well. It's all virtual, really easy to access, and if you register you can have that kind of content for a couple of days basically to kind of digest in your own time as well. And it's lots of people from around the whole world as well, which is really interesting. And it's completely free, so there really is
that was the thing that blew my mind. Like, this is, if you really are serious about starting a business, then this is the place to go, because you're going to get such a wealth of understanding from all these different speakers who've done that, been there and done that for free. Like,
honestly, like the conversation I've already heard from some of the interviews being recorded has just been so inspiring. They give you really great tips and advice, really nice frameworks, things to like kind of get started on. And I promise you, like after that, you'll just be so energized to do something. Like the whole worry about being in action won't be a thing anymore.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really, really cool. And we will definitely be coming along to some of the talks next week. So that would be really great to see how that comes together. Okay, so we are nearing the end of our time. Just a couple of key takeaways, Sarah. What would you think are the kind of most important things that anyone watching this needs to go away and do in the next week that would really, really help them get further to their dream of launching a business?
Like I said, I think we've kind of covered some of the few things around really connecting with, you know, why you're creating something and who is it for, getting it tested as soon as possible, but really just don't be in isolation. Like I think we're all as isolated as we need to be, and there are some amazing communities online and coming together really powerfully. So go find those people who are like you, either be in a similar sector, you know, similar approach. Just go and connect with people and try learn from them. And something that can be really great is either finding someone to work with in some capacity. So if you're working on your own idea, finding either someone who can be like an accountability buddy that you can check in with to help you move things forward, it can be really powerful, or like someone like a business coach who can actually help you in the same way kind of break through your own challenges and the kind of barriers that you put in front of yourself to actually stop you from doing the great stuff. Or finding things like online programs. There's a lot of things that have a lot of structure out there as well if you need that structure. So I'd say just take the biggest effort to going out there and just finding something that can hold you to account and can energize you and give you the information you need, so you're not doing it on your own, because you really don't have to be.
Yeah, absolutely. And my kind of key piece of advice also is that starting a business is scary. It's not more scary now, it's just scary. And that's actually really, really exciting, because when we feel that fear, it's because we're doing something different and we're pushing ourselves out of our comfort zone. And that is the space that growth, like personally and professionally, happens. So you're not alone. You are definitely not weird for feeling terrified. And I promise you that it's not unique to this situation. You would be feeling terrified regardless. And it absolutely is possible to start a business and to sell and to have success even in these difficult times. So we're here for you. Reach out, let us know how you're getting on, and if you need any support at all. And the wonderful people at the Good Business Club are also there if you need a community around you as well. So thank you so much, Sara, for joining us today, and thank you guys for watching, and we will see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.